So that you talked about, that's what's positive and creates, helps them with their immediate goal. Tell them what to do, give them the information, be transparent. How about that negative interaction, which causes them to eliminate you? What does that look like?
I mean, we hinted a little bit at frustration, right? Lack of finding what I'm looking for. There's some technical components of just slow loading and some of these things where people give up, right? And that's more of a technical. How's your site hosted and structured and put together? But it's just that I don't know what I don't know, right? It's that you mentioned the word the uncertainty or fear. Fear is an emotion, right? Fear,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and it's not just the fear of the unknown; it's the fear of making a mistake, right? I mean,
Ah, okay.
a home purchase is one, if not the largest investments or purchases that somebody makes in their lifetime. So, I don't want to get this wrong. I don't want to mess this up, right? And when we get to the point where we're so scared of making a mistake, we just freeze and we make no decision. We don't move forward at all. And so, how do we overcome that fear? It's with knowledge and information. It's clarity. I mean, it's things like reviews, right? And
Mhm.
look at all these other happy people that have had an enjoyable experience. Okay, well, if Rick did it, then maybe it's okay, right?
Yep.
He's been there. Somebody else has done this before. Showing that process. How do we move them through? There's a lot that goes into a new home, right? There's a lot of
Mhm.
steps in the whole thing. We see people, with kind of some flow charts. We see videos where they walk people through things. Video connects with people emotionally much more than text does now.
Yep.
So the more you can do with video, the better. But yeah, it's really about eliminating those barriers to moving to the next step.
So I want to plug you here because I think a lot of people don't look at this. I'm going to build a website, and they usually look for the cheapest option out there and to get the website up, right? And then what happens is you have issues. It's not done properly. You've got slow loading images. It's not formatting properly on mobile. There's all sorts of issues on it. That becomes frustrating for that prospective buyer. And they're like, you know what, this is too hard, the information, next. And they eliminate you. So just want to, really try to impress upon anybody, any builders here is that, man, this is your representative here, is your website. And it's open 24/7. And to not have the best representation out there, I just encourage everyone, do not skimp on this. And the same thing is like if this is your storefront, this is your model home. When I worked a model home, Greg, every single day we were checking on that model home. You know what? We made sure the windows were clean. If there was light bulbs burned out, we got rid of the cobwebs. We cleaned it regularly. If it snowed, we shoveled. If the grass needed to be cut, we cut the grass. If there was garbage in the yard, we pulled weeds. But we made sure that model home was always looking nice because we didn't know when our next visitor was coming in. And I think your website is the same thing. You have to go in and actively manage that and have a good web partner like yourself that can take care of it. If there's an issue that comes up, can fix it quickly so that you're always looking your best. And I'm sure you could tell horror stories that people have come with you and you see what they have out there for a website and going like, oh my gosh, this is
Yeah.
costing you hundreds, if not millions of dollars in lost revenue each year because of the way you're presented.
Rick, I think one thing that I like to encourage builders to step back and think about from a website investment standpoint, if a website becomes your best salesperson, right? What would you commission your best salesperson,
Mm,
right? For what they do, right? How many homes at that commission rate, pick your commission rate, do you need to sell for your website to be paid for?
yep.
Right. And how do we look at that from, it's usually one or two. It's usually not very many. So you don't need a huge doubling of your sales to make a website improvements
Yep.
really cost, get that return that you're looking for.
And one of the misnomers out there too is that a lot of builders say, well, I get most of my business from referrals,
Mhm.
or we get walk-in traffic, or we get a sign call, or we have a lot of realtor business. Interestingly enough, what I have found is that even if it's a referral or a realtor or a walk-in traffic, once they make contact with you, the next thing they do is they go to your website. So that can actually be part of the sales prevention team. Like you may have a nice website and a nice location, but they go to the website and they see some issues, or perhaps you're not managing your online reputation and then they see some bad reviews out there on you. So yeah, it can help you make the sale. It definitely can help you prevent you from creating the sale too. So I think it's disingenuous to think that because you get a lot of referral business, you don't need to invest in your website, because it really does, it is a representation of who you are.
And to that, Rick, I think there's a whole other group that gets the recommendation of the referral and they look at the website first before they call you.
Yes.
You know, there's the ones that call and check, but it's like, oh, you know, Rick told me that I should check out ABC Builders. And so I go look at that. And before I call, so how many didn't call?
Yep.
You know,
and because normally they're getting 2 or 3 referrals. It's not just one. And so you're right. Yeah, that's a very good point. So let's just to kind of wrap this up for everybody here. So what are some tools and techniques that builders can use to create emotional connections and then build trust with their website visitors? Anything that you would recommend that we haven't discussed yet?
You know, I think we've hit the highlights, right? So it's about transparency of content. You know, where do you build and what do you build is kind of, can I answer that question in like 1 second, right? I mean, you know, and that's just kind of that first one. Then it's about educating on the process. It's about giving them tools to see, you know, again, that's the great photos and renderings. It's the interactive type floor plan tools, the virtual tours of homes that help. And then it's about that trust, that social trust, if you will, with reviews from buyers and others that work with you, that tell people, hey, these people do what they say they're going to do, right? And they follow through with what's going to be out there.